So this is what I wanted to show you. This is Physalis here. And that is much more interesting to grow perennials like artichokes. You could grow them in the same way, just by having trees, like this acacia, for example, tamarix, eucalyptus, castor oil, all that, and then have some perennials growing just below it. So it makes a sort of double row, and then the perennials will keep the moisture better for the trees, and the trees grow faster. And we can see this with this Physalis. At the moment, there's none that are ripe, but they're all flowering at the moment. And we'll have a lot throughout the summer, I hope. But yeah, the idea is to use the castor oil here as the tutor for the Physalis. You can see they're tied up, so they don't like fall on the ground. You can see it makes a really nice line like that. And compared to the other ones that we planted on their own, like look how small they are compared to these. Really makes a massive difference. And these ones have been watered twice as much. So imagine what you can do by combining trees and perennials to get your crops growing better, and also protected them from frost, which is really important in this climate because we get mild frost that can really destroy the Physalis. Over there I had to take out a lot of dead branches. Some of them almost died, whereas these totally fine, no dead branches. So it does really help. And could do the same with artichokes. I can show you some of the Physalis here already. Look at that. These are really nice snack. And super nice to have. Make some lovely desserts with them. The idea is to sell them in trays at the cafe that we have for guests at the retreat center. Super nice. And yeah. And yeah, they can produce for like 3 years or something like that, and then you can propagate them from cutting. So super nice. And yeah, they just keep the moisture in for the trees so they grow faster, and at the same time they are protected by these trees. There's really a really interesting dynamic going on there. And yeah, on this side we have the pepino melon there. That's another perennial that's quite frost sensitive. It's doing quite good beneath the shelter of all these trees. They're actually flowering right now. I didn't get to taste any of them because we planted them in April, and they take about 6 months to stop flowering. But then throughout the autumn, the fruits end up dropping. It's too cold. But yeah, same thing here. We had like an X line. We also benefited from this X line here by trying to produce as well some mulberries in here, in between the apricots, which I'm going to show you on the apricot line here. So basically what is that the olives are 10 by 10 meter spacing. So in between the olives we have one line of production crops of fruits. Here we have apricot. This one's grown so much in the last 2 weeks only. And yeah, in between the olives we all have pomegranate or fig over there. And then over there it's almond in between the olives, and over here it's apricots. So we also had the tomatoes growing in here in between the castor oil, and you can see that apricot is doing fantastic. Like, it's growing so fast. They're even more vigorous than the almonds. Like, look at the size of that trunk already. Crazy. Just like 1 year old. Only 1 year old. That's crazy. Yes, so we had the tomatoes growing in between, which wasn't ideal, I must say, because there wasn't much space for the pathways. But now we've created very good soil everywhere here. But yeah, we can see that these fruit trees are answering with such vigor. All of the fruit trees that we have in here are very vigorous. They're all looking lush green, and they definitely don't have any problems. They're not lacking any nutrients that I can say. Like, look at the size of the leaves of these almonds. This is crazy. Usually they're much thinner than this. And look at the amount of growth on that. This is crazy. This one is gonna go 3.5 meters by the end of the summer. I mean, actually this one is already 3.5 meters, so they're extremely vigorous, works really well. And it's gonna be the same thing here when we're gonna harvest the almonds. Same thing as the olives. We're gonna have to prune everything beside it. This false pepper is gonna have to go, Then we're only going to leave the emergent, and I hope these viburnums there will handle the coppicing really well. But most of the plants you see here are actually by seed. Loquat, ash, cuttings of fig even. That's a cutting of myoporon. Yeah, the only trees that we planted here really are the poplar, Peruvian pepper tree, the almonds, and the viburnum. The rest is from seed or from cutting. So actually it's not that expensive. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you learned something valuable in here, and stay around for the next one.